I think a lot of us out there, myself included, has been waiting for this one right here. That is the new Shadow Systems CR920X. So this is the new setup from them that's meant to go up against the Glock 43x, the Sig X Macro, the Shield Plus, all the stuff that's in that like Hellcat Pro size category where it's very small, but has really good capacity and is easy to carry around all day. There's definitely a lot of good stuff going on with the new CR920X, and I'm gonna show you a couple things that if you already have a CR920P or a CR920, they're gonna make you happy in regards to magazine usage and a possible future model of the CR920X that I'm pretty sure is probably gonna come someday. As far as the CR920X goes, this is a 9mm striker fired pistol. I know some people may want other calibers, but let's just face it, 9mm is the most widely caliber carried out there and used right now, and nothing else is even really close to it when it comes to pistol rounds. But with the CR920X, you're getting a little bit of a longer grip, which is going to give you a lot more capacity. So this is the same size as the Glock 43x or 43x MOS, but you are getting factory steel magazines with a 15+1 capacity while maintaining that same 43x size, so it's super carryable all day and really does compete with the X Macro, the Hellcat Pro, and everything out there that's in this category right now. So this is one that definitely maximizes your carryability as far as comfort and size go, and it also maximizes your defensive posture. Let's tackle that range performance, because since this is a new offering, that is really what matters. So I got this thing out there and I ran the first 300 rounds for this day one range one trip, which was a ton of fun, but it was a lot of work because we get 2 magazines here. So 15 round mags, that was a lot of loading out there between filming, and it's like 100+ degrees in the desert right now. But got those rounds through it, and I fired a bunch of different ammunition types, which is I know what you all expect and want to hear. Everything from 124 grain NATO, 115 grain ball, 147 grain, 124 grain plus P, hollow point, self-defense ammo, all of that good stuff out there, and all of it ran 100%. Now, I did clean and lubricate this pistol before going to the range. That's extremely important, and I don't know why people think that they don't have to clean and lubricate their firearms before they go to the range, especially when they're brand new. And then you can dry fire a little bit too, it smooths out, any little burrs get taken care of, but you gotta clean that thing and lubricate it before you get out to the range. There is something else you need to think about when it comes to your defensive posture that maybe you are not right now, and that's going to be protecting your identity and your personal information. And that's why the sponsor of today's video is Aura. So I myself have been the victim of identity theft, and I can tell you it is no fun at all. And I can tell you, having been a cop for 17 years and investigating a lot of identity theft and fraud cases, I don't think you all realize how much of your information is out there and readily and easily available online, not only for you to search, but anybody else. If you want to see how much is out there, just Google search your name or a family member's name and info and see what you can find. And then go to something like a People Finder or a People's Information search and see how much information you can actually buy. It's pretty simple to get a ton of info out there, and it's kind of scary how easy it is to get. But remember, people also buy and sell your information like a used car, and anybody can pretty much buy it, whether it's nefarious actors or people just trying to sell you something. That's also what Aura is good for, because it'll help you cut down on your spam, unwanted emails, calls, all that stuff. And I know all of you out there believe in protecting your home, but think about the $10+ billion that people lost last year in identity theft and fraud and forging, all these crazy things that went on. And think about scary numbers like this. According to United Healthcare, almost 1/3 of the US population's information was subject to a data breach. Or look at AT&T's issue, where 73 million people's information got out there on the dark web. And this is why you need something like Aura. And the cool thing is you can try this out right now for free if you use the link in the description down below, aura.com/tactical considerations. And in that 2-week free trial, you can see how Aura is just a one and done solution as far as it comes to removing your personal information, seeing if you have any breaches out there, getting those breaches taken care of, checking and monitoring your credit. And I know all of you take your self-defense seriously out there. This is just another layer that a lot of people don't think about. So make sure you check out the link down in the description, aura.com/tactical considerations. Check out that 2-week free trial and just take care of yourself and your family. They've got a ton of different plans available, but really it's just a one and done, even has a VPN for you. The recoil out there was definitely a little bit more manageable since you have that longer grip now on the X series as compared to the shorter stuff where you've got your pinky or your last 2 fingers hanging off the end. One thing I did notice, the 115 grain, the 124 grain NATO stuff, as compared to the self-defense, that real high pressure ammo, you can notice the felt recoil a little bit more than other things. So this is something that comes up a lot in videos. People talk about, like, you know, muzzle flip, felt recoil, all that. Basically that feel in the hand, how much that muzzle rises up and down before it goes back on a target. When it comes to pistols this small, it seems to be anytime you get below like a Glock 19 size pistol or a M&P compact, when you get into a pistol this small, you're gonna notice it just a little bit more. It's still controllable. It's not gonna blow you off the range or anything, and people just blow it out of proportion a lot. But it's one of those things where when you get into pistols this small, you notice the difference between regular ball practice ammo and self-defense ammo immediately. And that's why I always tell people, practice with your carry ammo at least a few times a year, because it's going to have a distinctly different feel out on the range. We're gonna move on to some self-defense ammo. I've got some G2 loaded in here and some Spear 124 grain gold dot in the other mag. And we're just gonna run through these and see how it performs on some self-defense ammo. Just drop the mags, right? Okay, so ran flawless. What I can tell you is that G2 is some spicy stuff. So for the rest, I'm just gonna run some drills. One round. All right. And that is a few mags of self-defense. We got 147, 124 grain, all hollow tip stuff. So seems to be running really nice on that. You can definitely tell a difference between the basic ball and self-defense ammo, but that is with any pistol, especially once you start getting into the micro stuff. I know many of you out there have seen the CR920P right here and know that I've carried that quite a bit. So when I got the X in, just so you can see these two side by side right there, I was kind of thinking, what could you do with this on this? And is that a possible future offering? So I went ahead and I took that P slide and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, put it on the X, and I was quickly banging away out there, problem-free with the CR920P XP version that I made myself. So if you have the P version, yes, the slide and the comp will fit on here. Is that a future model? I'm guessing it's probably gonna come out. That would be the next logical step. It's not out now. This is just something I did on my own. Shadow Systems doesn't probably know that I did that because I don't tell them what I do before I release a video, but it'll work if you got the P slide. Now there is a difference between these two slides though. I'll show you guys up close, but the cuts on the front end of this are different. So I didn't swap the barrel over, I just did the slide, and yes, it does work. Another cool thing that I noticed was with the mags here. So you can see the CR920P mags right there, have that little pinky extension. Well, the 15 round mags do fit in there. They do lock back. And even though I should have tested that day out there, I didn't. So that's yet to be seen, but I'm pretty sure these things are gonna run since they fit in there. They lock in and the slide locks on them. So if Shadow System ever comes out with a little spacer, or the aftermarket does, you should be able to run those extended 15 round magazines in the P or the CR920 standard version that has that smaller grip. So wrapping up that range footage, I had zero issues as far as cycling of the ammunition, anything like that. Everything worked out great. I got plenty of practice in from concealment, from just standing there. I took out my Hilliker holster for my CR920P and Streamlight. Worked out just fine with the X version because the slides are effectively the same length. So good to go there. Got good magazine exchanges in there. So ultimately, this is just a real sweet spot when it comes to the carryability, right? So compared to the size of my hand, still a very small package. You're getting those 15 round magazines, and ultimately there's just a lot of really good stuff about this pistol, especially when you start running on the range. It's just good stuff. Let's tackle what makes the CR920X any different than what's out there, like the Glock 43x, because that's really the main competitor. First off, you're going to get that grip texture. So this is that sandpaper, aggressive yet not abrasive texture, and it is everywhere, all the way around that grip, where you need it, where you want it. That's gonna help you keep a hold of this thing and reduce recoil. Out on the front of the frame, you got those recoil reduction ledges with that same texture in there, again, to help you control recoil and reduce that muzzle rise while giving you a great reference place so you can get the same grip every single time. You get double undercut trigger guard. That's gonna help you get a higher grip. It's gonna help you avoid getting Glock knuckle or those little calluses you get on the underneath of your knuckle right there, and overall is going to be very comfortable. You do get the extended beaver tail out back, which again is going to help you reduce muzzle rise and recoil control. The direct to slide multi-optic cut here with that shim system, it's just one of the best out in the business right now. And direct to slide is just the way to go. You are going to get great night sights from the factory. These are made by Night Vision, one of my favorite sight makers in the industry. And of course, those metal 15 round magazines, while still only being 1 inch thick to carry around in the waistband all day. Now we have definitely got to take an up close look at that trigger and see how this thing is outfitted. All right, let's do a couple quick comparisons, then we'll put this thing on the trigger gauge. So this is the CR920P, the compensated version from Shadow Systems. So it's the Glock 43, which is the smallest one. You can see kind of how my hand rides on that as compared to the CR920X right there. You can see I can actually get my pinky on that grip. So we drop the magazine on that one. You'll be able to see when we go side by side right here, how much more grip you're getting with this. And then obviously minus the comp right there, it's gonna be the same slide length, but you're gonna have a little bit of a difference up there in the slide themselves as far as the angles go on this. So will they come out with a P version? I don't know. Can you make one of your own? If you currently have the P version of the CR920, yes, and then it will fit in the CR920 holsters or the CR920P holsters, depending on how you try to outfit it. And as far as this one goes, compared to its direct competitor, the Glock 43, if we go back plate to back plate right there, give you guys a really good size comparison here. It's exactly the same. I mean, there's minuscule difference between the two right there as far as fit in your hand. And I am running the Shield Arms 15 round magazines in here to give you a true comparison to the magazines that the Shadow comes with. So ultimately very solid. Now you can see a little less aggressive grip angle here than a Glock, a little bit of a different trigger. Those accelerator cuts up front, you can see it fits nicely even in larger hands. I can still make use of that recoil ledge. Those great factory sights right there. A lot of good stuff going on with this pistol. So let's go ahead and check out the trigger here. So Shadow Systems has a slightly curved trigger with a trigger shoe safety that goes almost all the way flush, but they did leave that little edge on there so you get 100% of that trigger shoe safety and ensure it is depressed when you are ready to fire. So the slimline pistols are known for having terrible triggers, okay? The Glock trigger system is not the greatest. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the greatest. Shadow System has cleaned it up a little bit. So there is your take up. That's your break, reset, and break. So it's tactile, responsive, audible, all the stuff you expect out of a Glock trigger. Not bad at all. Let me go real slow on this last one to kind of show you the creep in there that's standard with Glock style triggers, okay? That's it. Couple millimeters of creep and then it breaks pretty solid. We're gonna bust out the new Lyman gauge that a viewer sent in who's a Patreon as well. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure he's a Patreon. Either way, sent this in. Truly appreciate that because apparently to everybody out there, or according to everybody out there, these ones are the most accurate. So it's got this little roller wheel on it, which does kind of roll around a little bit as I was playing with it. But we're going to go ahead and do some trigger pulls here. I'll try to pull from the same place, but you can see it kind of wobbles around. That one came in at 3 pounds and 2 ounces. Make sure you guys can see that. So it's kind of tough with that roller wheel, but I do think it's probably very, very accurate as long as you can get on that same place. So that one went up to 4.6 right there, 4 pounds and 6.1 ounces. So overall, still very good. I seem to keep pulling off the battery tray from the back side there. So grab this a little bit different this time. I'm trying to get right on the center of the trigger. That one went way high, but I think I over pulled it, right? That came out as 5 pounds, 9.9 ounces. So we're gonna do another one just to make sure here that that wasn't me. All right, that one came in at 2 pounds and 1 ounces, but it was way low on the trigger. So another good lesson learned is the lower you are on that trigger shoe, the lighter the weight is gonna be. But that is the up close there on that CR920X. Now, did I experience any issues or did I run into any problems with the CR920X? It ran 100% reliably out there on all of the ammunition types, from basic ball to hollow point self-defense style ammunition. But there was one thing that I did notice when it came to the magazines, and I'm just about positive it was the magazine release out there. So when I ran this and I was doing some drills and everything out there, I noticed when I would load a full magazine or a partially, kind of like half loaded or more, so like 6 to 8 rounds or more in there, that I think there was a little burr initially on the inside of the magazine release, because when I went to drop the mag on a full mag or partially full, it would just catch that magazine release ever so slightly. So much like you, when you go out and you eat too much at a really good restaurant and drink like 6 Cokes and you kind of bloat, as you load this magazine, it does kind of expand a tiny little bit. And I think there was a little bit of a burr on that magazine release, because after a while it totally went away, but up front and a few times it did catch a little bit, and I kind of had to either wiggle or kind of strip the mag out. And as you can see, it falls right out now, and it does the same thing when it's loaded. So new production model, I did send some information off to Shadow Systems about that, let them know that did occur. But after running a few hundred rounds and a bunch of magazine exchanges and then just some dry fire stuff, it seems to have gone away. I have seen that before when I changed magazine releases in factory Glock pistols, and the same kind of thing happened. It went away once I got some magazine exchanges in. So if you experience that, just jam the magazine in and out a bunch of times, do some magazine exchanges, do some training, have some fun, and it's probably gonna go away. I know some of you out there need to see all the specs, and here's some calming music, so here you go. Before we go any further, I know the question's gonna come up, would I actually carry the CR920X? And that's going to be an absolute hell yes, because I carry the CR920P a lot. So the CR920X is just that next kind of logical step for me, especially if I want to put that compensated slide on there, because it just fits my hand so much better. So as you can see, I got bigger hands and I can get a really good purchase on this pistol. And that's ultimately going to help with your accuracy, your control, your follow-up shots, and all those things that are really going to count, whether you're out there on the range training or whether you have to use that thing out there. So absolutely intend to carry this. I absolutely intend to do a well over 1,000 round review when I get to like 1,500, 2,000, because if I'm going to carry something out there in the daily, I'm going to put a lot of rounds through it to make sure it's good to go. Price point wise, this is all over the place right now. This pistol literally just came out like 48 hours ago, or like the day I was filming this video. I got it like 2 days before it came out. Yes, Shadow System did send it to me. They've sent me stuff before. I've bought their stuff before. It doesn't change what happens on camera. If it happens, you guys get to see it like that little magazine issue. Prices though, I've seen the basic version for like $615, and then the one with the kind of nice gold barrel like up to like $815 or $850 or something like that. So I don't know where prices are going to settle, because when something's released and it's brand new, the prices start here, and then eventually they level out somewhere, you know, a little bit less, usually around like 10% less or something like that. So that's what I have as far as the price goes on there. Now, since nobody gets a free pass on the channel, is there anything I would change when it comes to the CR920X right here? Yes, it's glaring at you. The magwell. Shadow Systems produces a lot of cool magwells on their other pistols, and I was really hoping this was gonna have one. Their magwells, even if you buy them after the fact, say you buy the Foundation series, are like usually like 20, 25 bucks on their website. So I was really hoping that this thing was gonna have a factory magwell, or that they're gonna offer it in the future at least, because I'm a huge fan of magwells. They make a pretty good magwell. They make stuff fit nice down there when they're making a magwell. And that's the one thing I think they could definitely have put on here and would have made it just like that perfect little piece, because the aftermarket may or may not respond. And I'm just a massive fan of magwells because they help you get that magazine in there, even if you're a little bit off. Think about how small that pistol is and being able to run this thing a little faster, a little easier, even under stress. You're winded, you're running around doing some good training, whatever it is. Magwells just seem to help you. They provide that pinky ledge. They get that mag in there a little easier, and I really wished it would have had one. And that is the one thing that if I had to nitpick this pistol, I would say it could use. All that's left is for you to subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts down below. Keep doing it on range. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.